for me, I mean, it was the first listen. I knew that it was something I wanted to cut, and said a lot of the things that I wanted to say, and immediately kind of got the idea in my head for what, I thought this video could look like. And that was obviously one of the things that helped with this song kind of, coming to the mainstream and really getting a lot of attention was the video. And I keep saying, like, I stand by that. I think the video was real and captured exactly what I wanted it to. And, this day and age, a lot of times you're going to get people that see something other or want to see something other than what the message is. And that's fine. Music and videos and things like that are very subjective and people are entitled to their opinions. But for me, it was a no-brainer that this said exactly what I wanted it to say. And I just felt like it was going to be a special song for us.
Like on that first listen, right? You're listening through it for the very first time. Was there any thought of, ooh, I can't believe they said that, or ooh, that could be
not at all? I mean, for me, there wasn't.
Yeah.
I feel like it was to the point. It said, like, I would say that it's people, like how I was raised and grew up, like that it just is what it is. It's like you don't you don't tolerate those things. And the gun line in the song was the first big thing when I took it to the label. That was it mentions a gun, and we had just had a shooting at a school here in Nashville. So, you try to be like sympathetic to those things. But I mean, in reality, it's like, unfortunately, we have things like that are happening almost on a weekly basis at this point. And, it's like, to be honest, everybody was kind of like saying, we have to be mindful of that. And in my mind, it's like, man, that gives us more reason to put this song out, to say, like, this is what's going on. And like, we're just standing back, watching it, letting it continue to happen. Like, come on, we got to have a small town mentality here and like do away with this stuff. So to me, it was that, a lot of it. And so, the gun was the biggest thing, at first. Talking about a gun that your grandfather's going to...
we know it's a shotgun. Come on. We know it's a shotgun. It's a squirrel gun.
It's not an Uzi.
Really?
AR-15.
That was the first big kind of, not big hurdle, but it was the first thing where they kind of said, oh, well, I don't know, this just happened at a school. And to me, it was just more incentive to put the song out and kind of raise awareness to kind of the bullshit that's been going on. So,
Well, and your vision always was, from the minute you heard that song, I remember that night, you texted me about your vision for the video.
Yeah.
About the 1-2 punch of the song and the video together, which was, it was a moment. It was a vision. It was, and that's exactly how it came out.
Yeah. Well, I called Sean Silva, who was the video director for this, who we've worked with a ton, you guys know. And, and just kind of talked to him. And the thing I said, man, do you remember the Billy Joel, We Didn't Start the Fire video, where it was just like, the walls were coming down back then. It's like all these things going on in the late 80s, early 90s. And but it was, it was showing kind of chaos in the world and what was going on. And
God, that's a great reference.
Yeah, and that was truly my vision for, for the video. But sort of an updated version of that with all the things that we've been dealing with, in recent years. And so I thought Sean did a great job at capturing that. Obviously you're going to have people go in and start picking that apart too. But I thought the video was great. The original version, all the versions. And, and I stand behind all those things.
Hey,
too.
one thing I never asked, you were talking about calling Sean for the video. Did you wonder, like, you wonder where people lean, right? Did you know kind of what Sean's values and principles were? And like, hey, I got a song.
No, I didn't at all. I really, Sean and I have been friends for a long time. That's kind of never really come up. Like, where do you stand on the political spectrum? It's just never been a thing.
Yeah.
We've been really cool. I appreciate him and his artistic vision of what he does. And
he didn't hold anything back.
No, and I think we just had a really kind of in-depth conversation about what I wanted to see and what I wanted it to be. And I didn't want to put something out there that looked like we tried to say it, but we're a little too scared to say it. Like, if we're going to go, I think with something like that, like if you're going to go for it, you got to go for it, right? Yeah. And just say, this is where I stand. This is what I believe. This is, I'm going all in with this thing. You guys can try and rip it apart all you want to, but it is what it is, and it's the way I feel. So
I remember while we're shooting the video, looking at you, Kurt, I remember thinking, this is epic.
Oh, this is a moment, right?
This is a moment.
And we didn't even see the video yet. Like, you guys didn't even know there was going to be, flashes on the courthouse and all the other stuff that was getting sprinkled in. It was just, but that, I remember pulling up to the courthouse and being like, man, this is a really cool
And they had that flag draped from the, oh man.
What a moment. I remember thinking while we're doing the video, like, this is a moment. This is gonna make some noise. Amazing vision for that, though.
Yeah. Once all the stuff started with the song, the next focus kind of became on that courthouse, which is, it's in the little town I live in. And it was like, oh, well, somebody was hung there 100 years ago. And that's why we filmed the video. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. Like, if somebody thinks, if somebody thinks that we went back 100 years to look at the history of a building and went, yep, that's where we want to shoot. Like, you're giving me way too much credit. Actually.
Yeah. But that's what happens. That's what
it was. What fueled the song. It was all those things, and people. I feel like a lot of people were looking at it, going, oh, everybody's saying the song is racist, and they're listening, going, where, and then it's like the courthouse became a thing. And I think even then people were kind of like, all right, you gotta be like, you're grasping at straws here at this point.
Most people, they push that narrative, and we've talked about this. They pushed that, and you were called pro-lynching, racist, and because of this, and I was talking about this, you'd watch CNN and they have people on there talking about, oh, they did this at this courthouse, and Jason Aldean should be ashamed, and the anchor knows, like we said, there was a Hannah Montana video shot there. There's a Hallmark Christmas movie. They know this, and they're perpetuating the
for sure. And I do feel like, I've been obviously in the center of a lot of media stuff over the years, but
you're a media darling.
Some good, some bad. You know what I mean? But the one thing I do know is that the media, they can. If they want you to go down that path, they can lead you down that path and make you, make it look this way. It's almost like an illusion when you're watching the news anymore. It's like, is it real? Is it, are you giving me the actual news, or is this just your opinion of what you think should happen? Like, it's so weird. And, once that narrative started about, the song and the courthouse and the snowball and, it just, people were very interested. And I think, people that sort of fed into that went and said, yep, I hear it. And then the other people are listening going, I don't get it, And so, and like we always said, I think we've all talked about it. And, I think we all knew what the message was for that song. And, I think the video and all those things, that's why we put it out. And that was always the message. It's still the message. And, there was no chance I was going to go back and be like, no, wait, everybody, that's not what I meant.
But that's the difference, though. Yeah. That's the difference between wanting to do something and actually standing your ground and doing it, because it wasn't easy. People on our label, in our camp, there would have been plenty of chances to back down.
Right.